New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here this evening. It's Ask Me Anything. Happens on the last Friday of each and every month. I'm so grateful you're with us. This program is exactly what it says it is. Ask me anything. And you can ask me a question, or I can babble on to myself for a while. And I want you to know, we've been doing this all year. I had to skip July. But other than skipping in July, we've been doing this since January. And every month, there have been people here to ask questions, and we have questions. And sometimes the program gets a slow start, but that's the way Friday nights can be sometimes. So I get to hang out. I get to share. I get to talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about. You guys see my sweatshirt? You are enough. I love this shirt, this sweatshirt. And I haven't gotten to wear it enough, mostly because it's been summer. I shared with somebody recently that I want to make the hoodie my official garment, like my official look, and just have a whole bunch of hoodies of different colors. And I already have that. I got black, I got gray, I got yellow, I got red, I got brown now. Got a nice burgundy that one of my kids gave me, and I guess I need a few more colors to go with it. But there, and if you're watching on a replay, because we do know that most people are watching this on a replay. More people are going to see this on a replay than anywhere else. So if you're watching on a replay, we don't have a question directly to ask just yet. That's okay, because again, I can find something to talk about. There's always something to talk about. And this sweatshirt, You Are Enough, again, it's my new favorite. It is a really comfy sweatshirt, and it has a very important message. And many of you know that personally, I think what we're doing is we're creating an environment. We're creating an environment and that is supportive, that is productive, an environment that allows us to practice these philosophies. And so creating that environment is a big part of the key. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That's interesting. It took 3 minutes and 30 seconds this time around before we got some people in the room. I'm wondering if that's how long the delay is to show up on different feeds and such. I don't know. But for those that are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Ask Me Anything. Happens on the last Friday evening of each month, and you've got me for another 85 minutes. All right, 85 minutes and 30 seconds. But you've got me for about the next 85 minutes that I'm committed to sitting here and answering any questions you might have. Anything at all. Drop it in the chat box. Join the conversation. Ask me anything. If you'd like to, if you have an idea of something you'd like me to discuss, or if you have something you'd like to hear more about, that's what we're here for tonight. Ask me anything. And because we have no topic yet, I get to take all the time I want. We could just sit here and you can listen to me ramble on for a little bit or not. Totally up to you. So you are enough. New sweatshirt. And I'm starting to wear it because it's starting to get chilly again. I got this in the spring, right before it started to get really warm, and so only had a couple of opportunities to wear it before it got warm. Now that it's getting a little chilly in the world, at least in my world, I intend to be able to wear it a bit more often, and it's got one of those great messages on the back that lets people behind you know that you think they're amazing. And it's about, as I was starting to say, it's about creating the environment of recognizing that not only am I enough, but everyone around me is enough. That there is no one around me, there's no one out there that is broken or not enough, that there is no one out there that has, that is lacking. Now, we may have the human experience of some of these things, but remember that at the divine, at the expression of the wholeness of who we are, you are enough. Plain and simple. And anything that says you're not enough is not of God, is not of the divine, is not the truth. I like to get on this kick. The truth is never lack, is never not enoughness. The truth is never a derogatory. The truth is never destructive. The truth is never harmful. The truth is that you are a divine emanation of God. The truth is that we each have within us everything that's necessary. We just have to open up to it. And I won't sit here to say that I'm perfect because I still have my challenges. I had one of those phone calls today where I just get really tired of people that tell me they know how I feel when they obviously don't know how I feel. And I allow myself to be triggered into something, well, less than what I would like to be. But it doesn't change the fact that at the very core of it all, I am enough. And there is enough. And I'm going to call that enoughness into my life more often and do my best to let go of those places where it feels like there is not enough. Excuse me, got an ice cube there. If you're just joining us, this is Ask Me Anything. Happens on the last Friday night of the month. The conversation really gets going when somebody drops a comment or a question in the comment box. So drop a question in the chat box, and I'll get you an answer. And in all the times we've been doing this, there have been a few questions that I would rather not answer, but I always do provide an answer. Sometimes that answer is not necessarily what the person asking wants to hear, but I promise to give an honest answer as I understand it. And that doesn't mean that I'm not open to explore or consider new ways of thinking, new perspectives, new ideas, new ways of saying something, new ways of sharing. I'm more than willing to consider that I could be wrong, that my enoughness, my humanness might be wrong when it comes to things. However, or along with that, I always tend back to that piece of the moral compass takes an arc towards the good. Who we are, how we show up, the very nature of our being, the very ground upon which we are created tends towards the good, tends to bring more good, tends towards love, tends towards light. I was saying this a little earlier that to me, the things that are obviously intending to create harm, things that intend to disrupt, people who intend to create destruction, those who intend to, those who bend towards the fear. Well, to me, that's not God. It is a part of the oneness, but it is a mutated part of the oneness. It is a part of the oneness that is ready for healing, in my opinion, and from my perspective. And there's a lot of healing that wants to happen out there right now. I don't want to name it in this program, but we do name it. And don't get me wrong, I do name it. I will call it out when I see it. I will say that this is wrong, that this is not enough, because when there's something wrong, there's something wrong. But it is only ever a misuse of the law. It is someone using the creative law of life towards a nefarious, towards a self, an ends that is based in fear, a desire that is influenced by separation. If our intention is to be loving and kind and compassionate and bringing more love into the world, then if that is our intention, we give that a little attention, and there we go. Ask me anything. It's a Friday night. Because otherwise, I'll just find another rant to go off on. Going to be in, anybody's in the room that's going to be at the Anton retreat in another little over a week. We'll be leaving next Saturday, a week from tomorrow. We're going to be leaving for the Anton retreat. I always get there a couple days early, one, because I'm on the board, and that's part of the work that we do, is to make sure that all the pieces and the parts are in the right place, and we'd love to have you there. Still room, still time to sign up. Still, if you'd like to get in on the virtual registration, if you don't want to be there in person or can't be there in person but want to get the virtual registration, I would highly recommend it. Mostly because, well, I'm giving a keynote Wednesday evening, Beyond Answering the Call to Greatness. That's the name of my talk. Beyond Answering the Call to Greatness. And I trust that many of you watching, and if you haven't, maybe I should pull that video up. You may have seen my talk at Anton last year. I had a 15-minute power talk, which was well received, and I had a great time. And so this year they gave me a half an hour. And we're going to go have twice as much fun and twice as much of a great time. And I trust that whatever reveals itself, I'm already working on what's going to reveal itself. But I trust that however it all comes together, you and those that will get a chance to see that will find value. We'll find a place where you may be able to feel compassion, an experience where, if I do my job right, you're going to hear a big vision, and you're going to be able to see yourself within that big vision. You're going to be able to see how you can create the life you truly desire. You're going to see how you can be a part of the healing that is happening. Now, sometimes the dis-ease in a body is unrecognized or goes undiagnosed. We don't know that it's there until much later. And then we come to healing as a reaction, as a reactive type of force. And we try to pray away the condition. Now, everything in New Thought and Science of Mind says that we do control the conditions of our lives based on the power of our thought. We are here to lift people up in learning how to and practicing how to and mastering how to use the power of our thought to shape our lives, to shape how we show up in the world. And if we come to healing, and specifically healing prayer, last, if that's the last resort, well, I guess I'll sit down and pray. We've got the equation backwards. Flip that around. When we come from prayer to begin, when we come from prayer at the very beginning of it all, when we make prayer the rock upon which we stand, then this power of the mind is not only better trained, it's more finely tuned to the frequencies and the vibrations of what is necessary to create the environment, to create the life we truly desire. And so on the big stage at the Goppert Center at Unity Village, not a week from Wednesday, I'm going to get a chance to talk about that, going beyond answering the call to our greatness. It was once shared with me, and I've adopted this over the years. We come from greatness. Right? What we are, the very nature of our being, we come from greatness. And while we are here, we are creating greatness. We are expressing ourselves as greatness. So we come from greatness, we are greatness, and we are creating greatness. All three. I like to remember that. All right, Chase Gerard, I hope I'm getting that proper. Your pronunciation there. Thanks for the question. Would you say life is a school to learn a new aspect of yourself? You are me and I am you, which is source simultaneously experiencing itself. We can use that analogy of this being a school. However, I don't want to get caught into a perspective that we don't know the truth and we have to learn it, or that we have to have lessons that we're taught or that can feel like punishment. A lot of people have had unique experiences, let's say, of their primary parochial education. And perhaps their spiritual education as well. I didn't come to spirituality as a child, so I don't have any of those horror stories, or even any of the good stories that some have from early spiritual or religious education. But so I've used analogies around school and the aspect of school because it is something that many of us know, or we all know, but again, because it can be a loaded term, I tend away from it. I'm not here to learn a lesson. I'm here to uncover, rediscover is a word I like. Not even discover the truth. I'm here to rediscover the truth, because the truth has always been there. It's been there since birth. It's been there before birth. Who you are, who you came here to be, all of that has always been here. It is coming to a rediscovery. It is coming to an uncovering, a revelation of these things, so that then we can make those things real in our lives. So I didn't come to learn that I have a spiritual flavor to my humanness, but I have come to learn that of myself. I got it. Sorry, Chase. I just twisted that all up. Yes. So as far as the you are me and I am you, absolutely. Yes. There is only one of us here. There is only one of us. And I have a unique flavor. You have a unique flavor. Everyone is a unique expression of that oneness. And we are all of it all at once. And our humanness is somewhat of a limited container, so that I cannot have the totality of every lived experience happening in my human life all at once at this time. I have frequencies, I have bandwidth, I have focus, I have perspective that makes my lived experience real for me, and I can't even imagine, I can't pretend that I know what that all is for you, other than I've done a lot of study and a lot of work on the similarities that people have found over time to come to this oneness. And so, yes, Chase, I don't believe we've ever met. Maybe we have. And if we have, I apologize for not remembering that. And perhaps we will. And in that meeting, even in this conversation, if I come from a perspective that says we are not one, if I come from a perspective that says you're different than me, that we're separate from each other, that then that's going to influence everything that I do, all of how I show up with you in this conversation. Or so you're confirming we've never met in person. And again, I'm going to hold on to the fact that we might, that the day will come when if it's in the highest and the best, then our paths shall cross, and more so than just here tonight. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you here this evening. Feel free to keep sharing your perspective in the chat box. We've got a few other people out there, and they're probably enjoying our interactions, so I trust. And so again, we come to this place where if I can approach you and recognize that you are an aspect of the oneness that I have never met before, you are a group of experiences and a body temple that I just have not had the pleasure to meet yet. But if I start from the assumption that you are whole and complete and perfect in who you are, if I come from that, then one, you're more likely to show up as that. And if you're not that, or if you're not choosing to express in that way, let's say it that way, because you are that, you are wholeness, you are oneness. But if you show up and and you're not choosing to express your wholeness, but rather to express your fear, or to express your trauma, or your hate, or your sense of separation, if you're choosing to express that in your life, well, one, I might not hang out. Two, perhaps we can talk that out and figure that out and work that out and support you in transcending those limiting beliefs, those limiting ideas, and come to a greater recognition, embodiment, practice of who you've come here to be. New thought, at its very core, to me, is incredibly simple. There is one. That's it. Now, we can add some things, and I've been working on a list of principles, a list of things that I try very hard to remember, to practice, to keep as guideposts in my life. And ultimately, it comes down to there is one life, one source, one supply, one infinite everything. And that oneness, that allness, that source and supply, I love that phrase, the source and the supply. from which bubbles up love, light, beauty, truth, health, wealth, well-being, abundance, prosperity. That from that source that bubbles up, there is an unlimited supply, because the source just keeps going. The source just keeps giving. We can, as far back as human history can trace itself or remember itself, as far back as we can go, there has never really been a lack on this planet of anything. Now, there have been times where maybe we didn't get the right supplies in the right place, or people weren't working the land in a way that would bring abundance and prosperity, and we're thinking of famine and things of that nature, and yet that never changes the fact that there is enough food on the planet to feed everybody. There's just a logistics concern. There's just somebody who has a belief that you can't do this. And and yet everything, I'm going to borrow the words of Marie Forleo here, everything is figure outable. So if we see something in the world and it appears like there isn't enough, if we see something in the world and it appears like there is lack, then all it is a logistics problem to get the source, to get the supply, to provide, to demonstrate where in that place where there appears to be lack. And we bring the consciousness that says, this isn't how it works. There is right now enough housing on this planet to ensure that every human being has a roof over their head every night. Okay, Robert, so why is there homelessness then? There is homelessness simply because there are those that choose to not believe that. There are those that choose to believe that their income or their bottom line or how they pay their shareholders is more important than providing a roof for someone in need, for someone who is in need of a reminder, for someone who is in need of a foundation of understanding, a foundation of belief, so that, and in 20 plus years, I've seen it in so many places. People that beat alcoholism, beat people that get themselves off the streets, people that get themselves off the drugs, people that get themselves off the worry and the anxiety, and there are those that choose to continue to demonstrate those limiting beliefs. But what I want to encourage each of us to do is get ourselves healthy so we can support others in getting themselves healthy. Doing our inner work, our own inner work, not so that we can just continue to do our inner work, not to be in a place that says, oh, I've been there, done that. Yep. Nope, got that. I'm all good over there. I don't need to know anything more about that because I already done that. Well, that's good. Then why are you not in some way helping those that still have that limiting belief? If you've mastered it, if you've mastered money, is it not our responsibility to help others move beyond those limiting beliefs? If you have mastered the art of physical healing, is it not our responsibility to help others master that art as well? I think that, and we could take this across any platform, any profession. If you're a master artist, if you're a master painter, is it not your responsibility to pass those skills and gifts and talents and perspectives on to a younger generation of the up and coming artists? If you've already dealt with your inner demons, right on. Let's go deal with someone else's. Let's go support someone else in moving beyond their limiting beliefs so that together, collectively, we are raising up a vibration on this planet that says, not only am I enough, but you're enough too. And that guy over there is enough too. Folks, feel free to join the conversation. It's Ask Me Anything. Happens on the fourth, not the last, the fourth Friday of every month. I'll be here for about another hour, just a little under another hour here, to answer questions, to pontificate, to perhaps channel the divine. I don't know what's going to happen here. You get a minister talking. There is an old joke about if you give a minister a microphone. Yeah, exactly. Where's my hat? I was given the greatest hat recently. I don't know where it is. It's not here. Must be in the other room. It says pastor warning. Anything you say or do may end up in a sermon. Excuse me. I want to put a reminder on there that says, but I won't use your name. I promise. I won't use your name. To me, that's coming back into that oneness. We're all here together. And as we started the evening, there is only one of us. And in that oneness, there are countless, billions upon billions upon billions of different ways to name and understand the divine. Diwali is coming up soon. I'm not a Hindu. I don't practice Diwali. It seems like a nice tradition. I'm sure it is. I'm positive it is, because it's beneficial, because it bends towards the moral arc of good, because it's not doing any harm. But it hasn't been a part of my being, my experience. So I don't think it's necessarily appropriate that I would run out there and try to lead a Diwali celebration. No matter how much I may recognize our oneness, that is the oneness expressing itself through a different lived tradition than I have. I need to express the oneness through the lived tradition that I have. You are here to live this oneness through the lived tradition that you have. Some people like Christmas, some people don't. Some people celebrate Halloween, others don't. There are a lot of 12-foot skeletons wandering around my neighborhood as of late. That's not true. They don't wander around. They just stay in the same place. I think it'd be more fun if they wandered around a little, actually. Oh, now there's an idea. We get a couple of motorized skateboards and put those 12-foot skeletons on a motorized skateboard and go zip around the neighborhood. Just don't hit the power lines. That'd be fun. Sorry, I get a little distracted sometimes on these things. So ultimately, who you are makes a difference. Who you are matters. And you, more than anything, I believe you are called to be you. Not to try to be somebody else, even though we're taught that. Be like her, be like him, do what he does, do what she does, get a good job, do your time, whatever. I think the greatest demonstration of our oneness is to be our uniqueness as well, fully our uniqueness. Think about it. With over 8 billion people on the planet now, there's only one of you. Now you might look like, and even if you're a twin, even twins, there is no sameness in the one. There is the uniqueness of who we are. And we may look very similar. We may act an awful lot alike. We may have been brought up almost identically with the same exact philosophy, and yet through it all, we each approached it differently. Middle children will recognize this. The eldest child will recognize this. The youngest in a family. We all have, even if you're an only child, we each bring a different perspective of what it meant to grow up, to move from the immature state of being to a more mature state of being, and continue to evolve and grow into even more and more mature states of being. Well, I believe that's what's happening in spirituality as well. We continue to grow through states of consciousness into more and more mature understandings, and therefore a more and more mature demonstration of how this philosophy, of how these principles work. We could say the same for any universal law: electricity, gravity. In my early years, I might have taken a butter knife or a screwdriver or something and stuck it in the wall socket to see what happens. In my younger years, I might have thought that I could change. I don't need to turn off the breaker to change this outlet or this light switch, and might have zapped ourselves. And over time, we matured into a deeper understanding, and often respect, but a deeper understanding and therefore demonstration of how to utilize, how to partner with, how to access and align with the universal laws, the universal powers. Power of our mind. We have matured over time. And you could easily say we have matured over lifetimes. Remember, Holmes in Science of Mind, and I'm on board with all of this, it doesn't end when we let go of the body temple. Death is not the end. It is the end of the body temple. It is the end of our soul incarnating, inhabiting this body temple, but it is not the end of who we are and who. It might be the end of who we came here to be, but it's not the end of who we are. And so we could easily extrapolate that each lifetime supports me in becoming a bit more mature in my spirituality, in my understanding, in my demonstration of consciousness. And that's not to say that anybody that, they needed to die so they could come back better, or none of that. Across time, over millennia perhaps, or maybe just 60 or 80 years, we all come to a deeper, more mature understanding of our own journey and the principles at play, and how to use those principles in a way that is beneficial to the evolution of human consciousness. You want to say that 10 times fast? Every one of us, who you are, is imperative, makes a difference. And who you are, you bring to what you bring to this thing called life. The lived experience you've had. I don't know why this is jumping into my head, but it is. So I'm going to go with it. Think back to the very first concert you went to. Do you remember what it was? I remember my first, and I'm going to call it my first real concert. Now, I was probably at a bandstand and saw some music, and my parents probably took me to some things I don't really remember. But as a young teen, my first real concert was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I was very happy to see that Joan Jett is touring with the Blackhearts this summer, or has been. It was very fun to catch a little bit of video and see that she's still got it. But if you've never seen Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, well, that's cool. No worries, no concerns, no judgments. But it also means that you can't possibly approach music or have the same understanding of music, or the same appreciation for music, or the same love of music in the way that I do. You might have a love of music, but you can't have it the same way I did it. I can't do it the same way you did it. So think back on that very first band that you saw, and recognize how that vibration, not just the lyrics, although they're probably part of it, not just the music itself, although that's part of it, but the combined vibration is what moved you. And that vibration becomes integral to your life's path. I listen to some pretty hard, dark music along the way. I can see how if you surrounded yourself with that really, really hard and really, really dark vibrations, you would have a dramatically different perspective on the conditions of our socio-political lives right now. I'm not here to blame the music, but I'm here to say that it is necessary for that to happen, because at some point, for me, I kind of realized I'd rather feel up and happy and in a party mood when I'm listening to music than angry and aggressive. So what environment do we create? How do we shape the vibrations that are happening in our lives? Today, it really would appear in today's society, it's all about the video. What video are you watching? Careful, I feel a sales pitch coming on. What video are you watching? We've been taught that multitasking is necessary as a part of life. Now, some will say that's not true, and some will say it is. And what I know is, for me, in the oneness, I am better able to focus on my work when there's something in the background. And maybe it's a lecture, and maybe it's music, and maybe it's a channel, maybe it's a this or that. But I try to make sure that what's ever on in the background is an uplifting vibration, because I'm probably going to tune out and not listen to the music, but I can feel the vibration. I feel that vibration of oneness. I feel that vibration of possibility. I feel the vibration of someone else stating what they know as the truth that is supportive. I feel that vibration, and I know you can feel it. I'm asking you to tune into it. I'm asking you to tune into it specifically on New Thought Media Network. But anywhere you get it, any of the New Thought communities that are broadcasting their message, any of the New Thought communities that are just simply putting a camera, putting a phone up in the back of the room and letting you eavesdrop on their service, you'd be amazed at the wow type of wisdom you can find by simply being a voyeur, or watching from the back of the room of programming that's available on YouTube these days. And choose wisely. Choose wisely would be my invitation. Choose the good. Choose that which makes you walk away going, yeah. I realize it's 8:15, and normally at 8:15, and well, even tonight at 8:15, New Thought Media Network, we have our evening prayer time. So this is one of the very few shows that overlaps prayer time. Mostly because I just could not start this at 8:30. So one of my dear friends, one of our other practitioners, ministers, prayer partners, is doing prayer time right now on another channel, and that in itself is part of the creative, energetic vibration that is rising up across this planet. And I don't even have to be present to it to know that we're doing that. To know that for that 15 minutes from 8 to 8:30, there is a positive program that is lifting up a vibration of positivity, a vibration of oneness, and loosing that into the world. And that's what we're here for, folks. That's really what we're here for. You can ask me any question you want, and what I'm going to answer with is a vibration of love. I may have to work at it a little to find it. I might even have to go away and pray on it a little and do my own inner work. If you ask me to love Donald J. Trump right now, I'd have to go do some work before I could express my love for that man. And it's got to be there somewhere. It's got to be there somewhere. Because we're all part of this one thing called God, this one thing called life. And I love how the very early books by Ernest Holmes, this thing called life and this thing called you, probably two of the best introductions to New Thought metaphysics I've ever encountered, because we're talking about life and how we live our lives. So yeah, there are still a few out there that I don't get, that I don't understand, that I can't agree with, but I'm going to do my best to send a vibration of love regardless, because I believe it's the vibration of love that'll create the change. I believe it's the vibration of love that will create the movement forward. The alternative is I get into hate and ugliness and bad juju and negative energy, and that's doing nobody any good. I walk away upset. They walk away upset. Stay in that place of love. And I get it. Sometimes it can be hard. And there's so many opportunities to raise up our vibration of love. And one of them, see, I knew there was a sales pitch coming up soon. I could feel it. I could feel the energy of, we got to let you know a little something here. I want to be really clear, right? One of the best ways I know is to get together with as many people that think this way as you possibly can. That's why summer retreats and annual conferences and all those kinds of things are so incredibly important. So I want you to hear this. I want you to listen to the words that people are sharing here while I take a sip of water, and I'll be right back.
What I love about Anton is the community, the people. I get to come here every year and pick up right where I left off with so many wonderful soul-centered friends.
This is our first time here, and I can't tell you the joy I've felt listening to the wonderful words of the people who are teaching us and sharing with us.
I've enjoyed every topic that's been talked about, and I've enjoyed the people. They're knowledgeable, they're loving, and it's a great space to spend a few days for yourself and for others.
You feel the love. It is literally palpable.
Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer, Board President of the affiliated New Thought Network, Anson, speaking to you live and direct from Unity Village outside of Kansas City. We are a beloved spiritual community, and we'd love to have you join us.
So if you're thinking about it and you'd like to have a deep dive into your own soul and connect with others that are doing the same thing, then you might want to consider coming to the Anton Retreat next year in 2025 here at Unity Village. Peace and blessings to you.
Yep. That's what it's all about. to get into that vibration of love, to get into that vibration where you know and here's the big part too, that you're safe. That no one's going to look at you and say you're off your rocker. No one's going to look at you and think that you've come from outer space. We've all come from the same starseed that is God's life, and everyone there knows that. Even first timers, even people that are just showing up to this. I get to a bunch of different events every year, and none of them compare to what Anton does every year. This will be my fifth, 21, 2, 3, 4, and this is 25. Yeah, so this will be my 5th year, and I need you to know it's kind of a not to be missed. It's a not to be missed type of event. So if you can join us live, you're welcome to. Registration is still open. We are into the last minute registration period, but registration is still open, and we'll have virtual registration open until Tuesday of next week, Monday or Tuesday of next week. I think you can still you'll be able to register even late next week, early next week, to get the virtual version and sit in the back of the room virtually. No, we do Zoom rooms, and we keep the action going in between sections, and we use multiple camera angles to also make sure that it doesn't become a boring Zoom room. But join us. And we still got a little bit of time here left this evening, about 25-30 minutes or so, maybe a little more, to answer any questions you might have. I don't get to see names of who's out there unless you comment. So if you want me to know you're here, drop a comment and ask a question, and just put it in the comment box, or whatever way your platform, wherever you're watching, drop a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Any questions you might have, I'm happy to answer those. Yeah. And remember, you are enough. That is our theme for this evening. That is how it works. Spirit said, wear this sweatshirt this evening. It got chilly this afternoon. We took the dogs for a walk, and I needed a sweatshirt. So I came back in and grabbed this, and that's how it ended up here on this program. I'm Dr. Robert. This is New Thought Media Network. Big shout out and thank you to our friends at the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. They sponsor this program. So again, anyone from the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley community, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting this programming. Thanks for your donations to make this programming happen. Anyone else out there that's a committed giver on our network, thanks for being a part of that. You're welcome to learn more about our committed giving campaign and how you can support this network financially over on our website, ntmedia.org/donate. There's the banner. Head on over there and drop a one-time gift in the bucket, or perhaps become a monthly committed donor. And any amount helps. All amounts help, because it is it's the financial energy we've been talking about all night. It's the vibration of good that we get to share in the world, and so that's one of the ways that we invite you to share with us and help share this good out into the world. ntmedia.org/donate. Again, this is Ask Me Anything. It happens on the last Friday. No, it happens on the 4th Friday of every month, 7:30 to 9 o'clock Mountain Time. So again, we've got just a little over another half hour to be together. I see a thumbs up here from the Unity Church in Pontiac. Sorry, I was going to say Potomac, but that's not right. And you probably get that in Pontiac, Michigan, I imagine. The Unity Church there in Pontiac. Thanks for being a part of what we're doing tonight and tuning in to New Thought Media Network. So, all right. Ask me anything. Let's see. Let's have somebody out there light up that comment box. What theological, philosophical, religious, or otherwise, what type of question do you have? Doesn't have to be deep. It could be an easy question. Throw me a softball. I will tell you, I like vanilla ice cream more than I like chocolate, but I won't dip into the chocolate bucket if the mood strikes me. Or I won't not dip into the. I will dip into the chocolate if the mood strikes me, but I prefer vanilla over chocolate. Yes, I like that. I've been hearing that kind of phraseology of each of us is a unique flavor in life. I've heard that a lot lately, and it's something that just keeps coming through and in various ways. And I haven't really used it in a talk anywhere, but it's been coming through in various ways to look at it, to look at this thing called oneness from the perspective that everyone is their own unique flavor. And some flavors I'm going to prefer, and some flavors I'm not. Some forms of music I'm going to perform, some forms I'm not. Some ways of being heard in the world I'm going to prefer, and other ways I'm not. Most likely, well, beyond the video, I'm really digging the Substack stuff. I've been writing 2 articles a week since the beginning of the year. So we've really got, so how many weeks into the year are we? 8 times 4, 32 plus a couple, 34 plus a couple, 36, I don't know, 36, 37 weeks into the year. And that means that we've got over 70 plus articles that I've written this year on my Substack under the banner of New Thought Media Network. Maybe I'll grab you a link there. And I love being able to do it because the writing is so much fun, but more importantly, it's creating conversation. Here we go. There it is. If you're watching on YouTube, you should see a link going through on the comments. You could click on and check out my Substack. Facebook, sorry, they don't. You might see it, you might not. It's kind of hard to tell with Facebook sometimes who's going to see what anymore. But that's part of the fun and the adventure of it. Head on over to YouTube and catch our broadcast there. You'll see you'll have a lot more fun, I think. But the Substack articles are giving me a chance to explore and put down in writing. And to me, this is part of it, right? We have to demonstrate. We have to be willing to stand on the principles we profess. We have to be willing to stand on the practices that we teach. We have to be willing to stand on this philosophy that we call New Thought. And to me, that's what the Substack is it's an opportunity to stand on those, to put things in writing, and let it be known. Because, as I've said, I may not have all my ducks in a row. I may not have every part of my life just perfect. But I feel really good about where I am. I feel really good about what I've accomplished in the last 20 years. I feel so much better about where I am today than I can now see the trajectory of where my life was taking me if I had continued on the road I was on before I found New Thought. I feel so much more alive. I feel like I'm accomplishing my soul's calling, that I am living up into my greatness. Sure, I still stumble and fall, and I know we all do, and that's part of the compassion that we have for each other. But in that greatness, I'm calling not just you to your greatness, I'm calling myself to my greatness, to be the living demonstration of love and light, to be in a place of deep trust and assurance. Let's explore that word for a minute while I'm on it, because that found its way to me. A deep sense of assurance that everything's working. For a long time, I was pretty against the word hope, and I still don't use it myself. I still try very diligently to not leave myself in a vibration of hoping something will happen, or hoping that this will clean itself up or fix itself or find me or whatever it is. I feel I have hope way down on the bottom of the list as far as it's just not something I do anymore. And from that, what I grew into was trust. I grew into a deeper sense of trust. So rather than hoping something's going to work out, I trust this is going to work out. And along that way, it led me to this sense of assurance. That still small voice, or that booming strong voice, that deep inner feeling of assurance that everything is working out, that everything is going to happen just as it must, to bring forward the conditions, the opportunities, the resources, the connections, the finances, the everything necessary to fulfill your mission on this planet. What are my thoughts and suggestions on how to have a person become more positive in life? If we're talking about ourselves, then do that. If we're talking about how to convince somebody else they should be more positive, we can't do that, unfortunately. What I have found is, and thanks for the question, Lisa, it's a great question. We get to be a living demonstration. And by being that demonstration, by being a person of positivity, by refusing to buy into the negativity, then that is how we can demonstrate and provide an invite for someone else to be more positive. If it's myself, if I'm just waking up in a grumpy, crappy mood and yeah, this all sucks. For me at this point, that feels like a pretty easy one, because we do have YouTube, and we do have New Thought Radio, and we do have so many avenues these days to tune into the good. We just have to make the choice. We just have to make the choice to say, you know what? I'm not going to watch those reels about politics this morning. I'm not going to watch the news this morning. I'm not going to wake up to the doom and the gloom and the everything's not all right crowd. I'm not going to wake up and buy into the fear or the separation. And if there is that vibration happening around me, I'm going to get myself out of that, get out of that environment, get out of that, take yourself out of that club and get to a better club. Get to a space where we can slow down a little, perhaps, or call for help, call a friend, phone a friend. What a great concept. Sometimes the most amazing pieces of advice show up in popular culture in a way we never would have anticipated. But that program, what was it, Millionaire, How to Become a, or whatever, they had the lifeline that was call a friend. Yeah. So if I'm having a tough time being positive, call a friend. Put on some good music. Get into that groove that gets you dancing. Maybe it's a meditation. Throw on the headset and the headphones and dive into a deeper meditation. Maybe it is a talk show program, or watching one of the many programs we have here on the network. So I trust that provides some insight there for you, Lisa. It is not always the easiest to do for ourselves, but once we learn how to do for ourselves, then we know that we need not do for others. It's not mine to make you positive. It's not mine to make you happy. But by being a positive, happy person, by being a person of influence, by being a person of increase, that's the one I was looking for. I don't remember if it was Mary Mana Morrissey or if it was Bob Proctor or where I first heard it, but to be a person of increase. And that increase can be anything. If you'd like to see more people acting with compassion, then be a person that increases the vibration of compassion. If you'd like to see more prosperity in your life, then be a person that is increasing the vibration of prosperity. If you'd like to see more love in the world, then be a person that is increasing the vibration of love in the world. And we can make it easy. And it doesn't have to be tough. Going on, wow, I really should go back in my books and start to find this out. Going on 3, 4, 5 years maybe now in my visioning, and some of you here may have heard this. Those that know me have heard this somewhere. Along the way in my visioning practice, I have a question: what is my soul's purpose? And I don't remember exactly when it happened. And I know it didn't happen like every time all at once. But over time, a phrase started finding its way to me. And when I would ask, what is my soul's purpose? The response I would get is to love and be loved. Love and be loved. Now it is a mantra. Now it is a state of being. Now it is a thread that runs through, I trust, everything I do. Again, are there times where I forget to love or I don't do it so well? Yes. I'm working on it. Are there times where I don't let myself be loved, where I push away the love? Yes. But I'm working on it. What I have found is we are all in so many ways transceivers, transmitters and receivers, like a CB radio, only much highly tuned, much more refined in its tuning. And while the language we speak is similar to the slang language of the CB, we're transceivers. We receive vibrational information and impulse, and we transmit vibrational impulse. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Does it matter? What matters is that I'm part of that circular nature of life, that I'm giving and receiving, that I'm allowing myself to love and allowing myself to be loved, that I am allowing myself to prosper and be prospered, that I am allowing myself to be compassion and receive compassion. You with me? We are transceivers of all these various vibrations that are happening in the world. Again, do you want to pick up the vibration of life sucks and then you die? I don't. I want to pick up the vibration that says I'm going to be a healthy human to the age of 120 and beyond. All right, that's hedging my bets. I want to go to 130 or beyond. I want to be a vibration of prosperity and giving. And I want to receive that as well. So what I give out, I receive. What I share comes back to me multiplied. Where I am giving, then I am opening and I am receiving. And the more I give, the more I receive. And the more I receive, the more I can give. And we're locked into that ancient symbol of the yin and the yang, and recognizing that all my good is not my good. It is the good of the divine, and it is simply transitory. And I am simply here to keep it cycling, to keep it circulating, to share the love, to share that consciousness of prosperity, to vibrate and transceive and share that recognition of our oneness. That you are me and I am you. Life is good. Life is good and very good. We still have time for a couple more questions if there are any. And I trust, Lisa, that provides you with some insight and some suggestions on how to be a more positive person, how to bring more positivity into your life. And hey, listen to the radio station. Oh my God. For anybody that doesn't know, we have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week radio station, New Thought Radio. I think I'm going to pull it up here so that you all can see it. Let's do that. I'm just going to walk you right through how to get there. That'll eat up a moment or two of our time here tonight. Not that we need to eat it up, just that this is the way we can share. So I'm going to go to our website. Let me pull this up here on the stage. There we are. Okay, so here's our website, ntmedia.org. If you scroll down a little bit, that's on the other one. But up here it says listen live. You go there, you get a pop-up. Pop-up comes out. I'm gonna dive right in. And there we go. There's some Daniel Nahimon. Sometimes the title right there takes a little while to catch up. There's a couple ways to start it. Start it up there. And as easy as that, you can even put it on your phone. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. New Thought Radio, positively inspiring music, enlightening and uplifting music for your journey here on planet Earth. Yes. And Chase shares the idea with Lisa. Go for ice cream. Yeah, I'm in on that. Let's go for ice cream. And if you're lactose intolerant, well, then go for some non-dairy ice cream, but increase the positivity by reminding yourself that you're part of this oneness out there, part of this wholeness, this everything, the one power, presence, and intelligence that is all life. Yes, yes, yes. What else we got going on out here tonight, folks? It's a Friday night. We're running out of time. You've got about 15 more minutes of me. And then I'm going to let you get off to something else. Yeah, there it is. Our prayer time just ended about 15 minutes ago. We were talking about that earlier. Friday night, Ask Me Anything on the New Thought Media Network. Thanks again to our friends at the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley, Colorado, up in Lafayette, just about 25 minutes from where I sit. Great group of friends and people up there doing the good work of sharing the news, sharing the word of the New Thought movement, and sponsor of tonight's program. So we always give them a big shout out. Thank you to the folks up at CSL Boulder Valley. Check out their you can catch some, if you check out their YouTube channel, you might just find some talks by me that don't go everywhere. Don't get out into too much of the mainstream. You might find some gems amongst the archives of CSL Boulder Valley. Check that out. And consider joining us for the Anton retreat, even if virtually. If you watch virtually, if you join us virtually or you're there in person, you get to see me with a keynote address beyond answering the call to greatness. It's going to be a 30-minute talk on Wednesday evening, the 8th of October, Wednesday evening, right in the heart of it all. I'm going to bring forward something that I think will be pretty special. So tune in for that. I can't promise that'll be available after the fact, as Anshin likes to provide those videos to their members and those that have attended the retreat. It's not content that we put together for everybody all the time. Although there is a lot of content over on Anton's YouTube channel as well, ANTN on YouTube. All right, where are we at? 15 minutes. I'm in the closing breath. One, maybe two good conversations. Hey, look at that. Just opened up my Facebook and there I am. Let me show you this, folks. This is part of the fun sometimes of being in this gig, of being a part of this, is you never really know what it is that you're going to find or how it's going to turn out or how it's going to look. So that's what this program looks like right now. I got a pretty weird look on my face. Facebook does some strange things capturing thumbnails on their own, so I got to turn that off. But you never know. We did one at one point once early in the program. We had a number of people join, or we had somebody sending me questions via email. And I thought, wow, okay, but it was a good time. We turned it into a good time. So every once in a while, I guess I do like to go by and check out my emails. Here's an interesting question. Why would I be getting requests from Uber to update my car insurance when I haven't driven for them in over 5 years? Not really sure. Strange things going on in the ecosystem of Uber these days. It's been 5 years since we started New Thought Media Network. I ended my rideshare career, if you will. I was only in it a couple of years, but I ended my rideshare 3 years actually. I ended my rideshare experience as the pandemic broke out in 2020, and that's also when we started New Thought Media Network. And I haven't looked back. Truthfully, I was more than done with that experience. I was so grateful to be done with that experience that went full steam ahead with New Thought Media Network 5.5 years ago now. And just this past week, I started getting all kinds of emails from Uber telling me to update my vehicle's registration and or insurance. So strange stuff going on over at Uber tonight, folks. I would not anyway. Excuse me. I guess I'm getting a sip of iced tea there. We must be getting near the end because I'm getting a little punchy and off on a tangent here. So somebody give me a question. Somebody shout out something. Give me something to focus on, and I'll bring this all home for you. It's ask me anything on a Friday night. And yeah. And you are enough. It's where we started. If you're just joining us, or you're wondering what you've gotten yourself into, or if you've been here the whole time going, oh my God, he's going to start over. Let me remind you, you are enough. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. And as the chilly winds start to blow, as the fall starts to find its way here to North America, I want everybody to know you are enough. Yep. Not much more I want to say about that. Oh, well, I can. You are enough. He says, I actually came here to ask you about your car's extended warranty. You know, Chase, funny that you should ask. I am less than 1 year away from completely paying off my current vehicle. We bought a 2019 Ford Fusion back in 2019. Got 0.9% interest on it, And so I've paid almost nothing in interest over these years. And we had a little deferment during the pandemic, but just about $3,000 away from paying off that vehicle. And then I might need an extended warranty, because believe it or not, I'm still underneath my Ford warranty at this point. All right, Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Tell me a weird spiritual practice that has had a surprising effect. Peyote. No, I have never done peyote. So, but my understanding is that is a spiritual practice that can have some surprising effects. You know, that's an interesting question, because in the early days, yeah, there was a sense of trying anything to find the epiphany. And I'm going to take this in a tangent in just a minute. So in the early years, there was definitely a sense of try anything that came along to get the epiphany of it, to try to find that special one, that thing that changes it all. And what I have found is that over time, it is the cumulative effect of a lot of very mundane practices that actually have the most effect. So, I remember once, many, many years ago, there was someone that came to the Boulder area who was doing gazing. And Laura went. I didn't go, but Laura went, and she came back and she was like, I don't know if I did it wrong, but I didn't feel anything. I was like, okay, what were you supposed to feel? And well, it was never really understood. And I was like, okay, so what happened? She said, well, some guy came out and sat down and then just started staring at everybody. No talk, no introduction, no explanation, no nothing. She goes, no, he just stared at everybody for like 20 minutes and then disappeared. That was it. I said, oh, okay. So my point in that is that we try things, and some are going to resonate and some are not. Now, I don't find it at all strange that this many years later, it's not a thing that I know of. There's probably still pockets of people that practice what this person was teaching, and there might still be people that have found some, but it didn't catch on big time. It didn't gain a major following, or at least that I'm aware of. And I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff come and go. But we have to really tune in and listen to what our experience wants. I want to give another example here. When I was a much younger man, I played with fire a lot. Not in a lighting things on fire to see them burn type of thing, but walking across fire pits or climbing into burning fire pits, and I like fire. I'm a fire sign. It would seem natural. I would tell stories around the fire a lot. And I always felt like I want to walk on fire. That I want to walk on fire the way I've watched so many friends do. Well, not watched, but I know friends have. And in all these 20 years, I've had one opportunity where I was at an event, where I was at an experience, where I was at a conference, where there was going to be a fire walk. And I was so excited because I was going to get to do the fire walk. And I was so ready to do the fire walk. And what I now know is it was all about ego. And so I probably would have gotten burned. And what happened was, ended up going to dinner with some people before the evening event, and by hook and by crook, everything fell apart and we never made it. And the restaurant was slow and dinner wasn't cooked and we had to go back and yada, yada, and yada, yada. And I was really kind of a little pissed off about it, to be honest, that I missed that opportunity. Now, over all these years, there's never been another opportunity. Now I'm sure if I wanted to go chase it down, I could go find somebody and go through a ritual and go through the ceremony and go walk across the pit of fire of, a coal pit. But it's never just been there. And that's what I've learned is I don't chase the experience in spiritual practice. I don't go chasing a spiritual experience. I do my best to experience what's right in front of me through the lens of my spirituality. I do my best to live through what's going on with the help of my spirituality, from that deep recognition that you are me and I am you and we are one. So Chase is trying to get me to pronounce a word I don't think I can pronounce. Dimethyltryptamine? Maybe that's correct. Yeah, if peyote is your thing, do it. If mushrooms are your thing, do it. If LSD is your thing, do it. Don't hurt anybody. That includes yourself. But most importantly, don't do it out of ego. Here's the last big thing. And right on time. Because I hear this. So over the last couple of years or so, right, I keep hearing again and again and again, we're moving from the 3D to the 5D. That we're becoming 5-dimensional, living in the 5D, living in the 5th dimension. Da, 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 da. And along this, what I haven't heard a lot about is the 4th dimension, the 4D. What is the 4D? And I forget where I heard this, but I've heard it, recently, and it was phrased as more of a reminder that the 4th dimension is actually spiritual egoism. My spiritual ego would like nothing more than to walk a fire pit, than to walk on fire. But what I know is I know now that my 5D person, my 5D human doesn't need that. My 5D essence, consciousness doesn't need that. It would just be spiritual egoism. So no matter what we do as a practice, don't let it be a spiritually ego thing. If your heart of heart knows, you know. If you know, you know. I've never been a big fan of that phrase, but there it is. If you know, you know. Don't let it be the spiritual ego that says I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Let it be your truth. Because I asked a great teacher once what their spiritual practice was, and his answer was whatever's in front of me. Maybe that's spiritual ego as well, but I want to find out. Because if I can make whatever is in front of me my spiritual practice, from changing a tire to cleaning the bathroom to answering the emails to writing a Substack post. If I can make whatever is in front of me my spiritual practice, then I trust I'm creating an environment of oneness. And I think we're complete. I feel complete. And the clock on the wall would say we've got 40 seconds. So I'm going to say thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you to the Unity Church of Pontiac. Thank you to Chase. Thank you to Kathy. Thank you to anyone else that chimed along or had a question or didn't voice a question. Thank you to anyone that might have nodded their head this evening and said, yeah, I like that. Thank you for being with us here this evening and being a part of what we're doing here on the New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you to our friends at the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley for their sponsorship of tonight's program. I'm Dr. Robert. I've now eaten up, effectively used all of those 40 seconds, and we're into overtime. So I'm going to get out of here for now. Let you get into the rest of your day. Join us tomorrow morning, 8:15 for morning prayers, and at 9 a.m. for the Science of Mind and Spirit conversation series. Always a really good conversation. Tomorrow, Reverend Barbara Jean's going to be with us on the Science of Mind and Spirit conversation series. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Mountain Time here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm Dr. Robert. Until next time, I wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.